Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, where BitBoy hardly ever talks about crypto. That is right. Welcome to the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. No channel works harder intermittently to keep you in the know about crypto. Guys, my name is Ben. I come to you live every single day. This channel comes to you live every single day. 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just completed the longest amount of time that I ever went without, doing videos here. I had a baseball tournament for my son, which, did that vlog go out? That vlog? This Sunday. So we won the silver bracket, so it was pretty good week. And then went to NFT NYC, and now I am, or last week went to Disney World. I have a bum leg. I got to go to the orthopedist today, so I was getting wheelchaired around Disney World. But I'm standing. I'm still standing. And a lot of crypto companies can't say that today.
Some people will do anything to skip the lines at Disney World.
They will. And just so you guys know, this was just kind of a thing where I was gone for that long. Certainly didn't mean for it to be that long. Just had a lot of things to write in a row. Here back with you. I'm going to miss a few days over the next couple of months, but, September I'll be gone a while. But outside of that, we are here for you. And we kept the content going. I'm so proud of DZ and Frank keeping the show going while I was gone. So takes a big burden off of me. And just, BitSquad, we appreciate you guys letting me have some family time and stuff like that. But let me tell you, I have been chomping at the bit to get back in this studio. Chomping at the bit. What in the world? I leave for 3 weeks and crypto falls apart? Is that true? Did it or did it not happen?
I mean, yeah. There's really not much left, it feels
There's
like.
not much, guys.
There's SBF and CZ.
We're going to be looking at some of those stories today on what is left here still in crypto. But, guys, I mean, the message needs to ring loud and clear to you guys. You should not trust an exchange. You should not trust any exchange. Thank you for that comment, Guy Naff. Looking good. Appreciate that. Down almost under 200 pounds. Very close. Like 203 right now. So, try to get down to 180. I don't want to go to TJ size. I don't know what I'd do if I was that small.
That is 180.
What's that?
I am 180.
Okay, well, I got 181, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to let you outweigh me, that's for sure. But, guys, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Obviously, I'm going to be updating you guys on what's going on with Celsius. Do we cover that on the show today anywhere? Drew? Where's Drew at? No, he doesn't here. Well, we talk about Nexo. I'll just go ahead and tell you guys kind of where.
You're talking about them paying down their loans or whatever?
Well, yeah. I mean, they definitely paid down some of those loans, which was good. Their liquidation point is now lowered to $4 million. I want you guys to understand
4,000.
Well, yeah, $4,000. Yeah, that's what I meant. I want you guys to understand this. We cannot let these people off the hook.
No,
absolutely not. I know yesterday, a tweet from Jason Appleton, Crypto Crow, one of my great friends in crypto, one of the people who helped put me on in the early days. He had a tweet yesterday talking about, they paid down their loans. This is bullish for Celsius. It'll be a great comeback story. I don't see it. I don't see how not only is Celsius never forgiven, but also staking in general is a black mark now. It's a black stain. It's a black eye on the crypto space. And I have an influencer group that I'm in on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on Telegram. There's like maybe 200 people in there. When I first started in that group, I was small potatoes, and I got a lot of help in that group from other people, and we built it up over time. And I messaged those people in there, and I said, look, we all did a really bad job. We all did a bad job. I don't know one person out there who made content that one of these companies or projects that has turned into a debacle that they said they were all scams to stay away from. And there might be a couple people, and if they're out there, we give them credit. But we all did a bad job as influencers. I'll tell you that. We trusted these third-party exchanges too much, and we are paying for it. I've always said, if you actually talk about the amount of funds that have been lost from people trying to transfer to hardware wallets, not knowing what they're doing, it probably outnumbered hacks from exchanges, at least over the last 5 years. That's no longer true. So, look, I believe there are some exchanges out there that you can trust, but I really don't in my heart. Like even Coinbase. I don't trust any. And we need to start doing a lot more content where we're talking to you guys about how to use these other options for custodying your crypto. You're going to say something, TJ?
I was going to say, yeah, basically along the lines of what you were saying, even if you can trust some of these big ones. Nothing feels safe right now. It doesn't feel like you can trust anything other than yourself, which is really what crypto was built on and based on. Verified, don't trust, self-custody, self-sovereignty.
It's just so hypocritical the way we talk about it, though. You know, like you're 100% right. But over this last bull run, guys, you know, you got to think about the emotions that go when the prices are going up. And by the way, can you get that stream chat on dark mode? That's driving me insane.
It's driving me insane too. It's weird because look, Twitch is all on dark mode, but then when you pop the chat out,
it's fine. I guess it's not that big of a deal.
I'll mess with it.
Yeah. But you know, I think what it all boils down to is we trusted a lot of these exchanges and we shouldn't have. But it's hypocritical of us to say, like, you know, we're in this trustless system, right? And yet we're extending the trust that doesn't need to be extended to companies like Coinbase. I know several people that have been hurt tremendously. They will not come back to crypto over this. And this is going to have reverberating effects. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we don't still, you know, lead the charge and try to fight against these people. Just an update on the Celsius stuff for me personally. I can't give you the details of the legal action that we're pursuing with them, but we are in the midst of legal action against Celsius. It is not a class action lawsuit. Once I get this buttoned up, which should be in the next 2 weeks, then I've been in touch with a lot of different people and a lot of different attorneys that are trying to do class action for smaller accounts or trying to offer services to smaller accounts. So I'll be trying to connect anyone who's lost money with Celsius with those people. This is not something I'm going to let go. And, you know, the fact, it just drives me crazy to think that there are people out there right now, no offense to people, I like some of these people, but that are saying things like Alex Mashinsky has a way back or Celsius has a way back. How? How can you say that? Just because they paid off some money and Bitcoin didn't drop as dramatically as it possibly could have fallen in a short period of time, that doesn't absolve them of their negligence.
Yeah.
Well, we now clearly know they were extremely negligent with our money. I'm embarrassed, honestly.
Same. Like, it is embarrassing. Somebody even asked me about it. Like, you know, whose idea was it to trust Celsius? Like, where did Celsius come from? Somebody was just asking me, like, I've known Alex multiple times, talked to him multiple times. The fact that we interviewed him in person made me feel, again, it established that trust. And I think it just goes to show how easy it is to forget why you don't trust, why you have to verify, why self-custody is important. Because as soon as you handed it over, assuming you can trust the people, you learn, you know, when I heard they were 2 billion in the hole,
I think that was not accurate.
Either way.
So somebody said it wasn't accurate. If somebody in the chat, maybe you can drop if you have a link to maybe that. Alex is going to use my money to rebrand. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What about Vault? Yeah, Vault is actually, we're going to be talking about Vault today. So that will be in the section where we talk about Nexo. Yeah. Leaders Halt. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That's what say ledgers. I don't think that's a word. I don't know. We'll have to get to that. Where is that after? After Recession Fears, Crypto Panic, this.
Johnny's out today. You can
Johnny's
tell.
out today. You can tell.
Yeah.
No offense, Drew. We love you too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tourist, Ledgers, 10-year Treasury. That's right before it, right?
Thanks, Nate.
Almost.
For that super chat.
Nexo steps to acquire. Oh, it's supposed to say lender. Lender's Halt. Lender. Lender is the word there. So anyways, Vault was a company that we had worked with in the past. I think maybe we'd done a sponsor video with them. I believe that we did. You guys know we don't do any sponsor videos anymore on this channel, but we did do one with them. And it's just, guys, you have to understand how out of the blue this has hit almost everybody in crypto. Like, it's not like when we're talking about these staking platforms, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would have been able to talk about Celsius and shun them as a company and say they were responsible and negligent. And I think this really drives home for the next bull run what us as educators in this space and you as community members in this space, what we have to do is we have to stop. Let me rephrase it. The buck can no longer stop with the unanswerable questions. What I mean by that is we're asked the question of, well, how are they actually making money if they're lending all this money out? And, you know, it's kind of general response. Well, you're taking money out of the supply and the rest of the supply should be worth more, yada, yada. We can't stop there. We have to go further with companies that we have to extend trust on. We have to know exactly what they're doing. I guarantee you, if I did a poll in here of every person who had used Celsius, I guarantee you less than 5% of those people actually knew what they were doing with the money.
Yeah.
Myself included.
Well,
I took it for granted.
I think a lot of people would have similar assumptions. Like I assumed, oh yeah, they're running staking pools. They're getting the most, APY they can on stable projects.
Yeah.
You don't assume they're aping into ridiculous degen projects
No.
looking for insane APY.
Lido
You assume,
Finance. What the frick?
you assume they're basically putting in the work, taking advantage, and taking a small margin. Well, that definitely wasn't the case.
You guys took 6 months after being in a bear market to realize we're in one? No, it's actually not true, bud. We've been saying bear market for a long time. We've been saying it since January. First time we said that this thing could drop below 20K. So
I was going to say before most other crypto channels.
They're still saying when I say it's a bear market, it's time to it's full capitulation and we bottomed. They said it at 38K, they said it at 35K, they said it at 33K, they said it at 31K, they say it at 30K, said it at 28K, said it at 24K, they said it at 20K, they said it again at 17K. Okay, these people don't know what they're talking about. I've been in this market for longer than 99% of people in crypto. That's probably an accurate statement, very close to it. I've seen a lot here. Crypto X Cyclops, good to see you back, Ben. Thanks for the Fire 101 video. Awesome. Been waiting for something like that for a long time for you to share with people. Hope you guys enjoyed a lot of the videos we did while we were gone. We had the real estate video that really popped off, did a phenomenal. And also we did the video about the Crypto 101. So that's a video you need to share with your friends and family who want to get into crypto. Very basic explanation. This is the time to do it. It doesn't feel like it's the time to do it because things feel bad. But this is the time to get people in, and you'll send this video to people, and I guarantee you what will happen is in about 2 years, they'll come back to you when Bitcoin hits all-time highs, and they'll say, oh, man, I wish I would have listened to this. We see it cycle after cycle after cycle. So, yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get going here on Market Watch. I don't know what this is. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Obviously, we got NFT Alpha, a few other channels for you guys to check out. Frankie Candle's hitting 20K over the weekend. So how about that? You got to get off this nasty NFT Alpha channel. No, I love them. Frankie Candle's 20.2K. We got BitBoy Bits. We got Hid Network. We're starting to do a lot more content on there. So look out for if you're interested in doing a channel. Oh, Frankie passed NFT Alpha.
Yeah.
How about
Frankie's
that?
moving on up.
I guess coming on the show every single day helps, you know.
It does.
Look at that mug. Look at that guy. Whoa, new headshot. Okay. Let's move to the markets here. So I tell you guys, I'm just fired up about being back today. I hate being gone for that long. I was just really, I enjoyed the family time for sure, but like I said, did have a bum leg, so it wasn't the best. Orthopedist today. Hopefully they're not going to tell me I have to amputate it, but I missed you guys. I missed the BitSquad. I missed the BitSquad for sure. So, all right, let's go ahead and check out the numbers here. Exchange is 504. We just broke 5. What is that? Down or up? I think that's up. We are now over 20,000 total crypto projects on CoinMarketCap. The market cap now is 879 billion. I believe it dropped down below 800 billion at some point. 61 billion in volume. Is that right? Yeah. Wow, seems like a decent amount of volume for that amount of market cap.
It is.
So about 8% probably. Bitcoin dominance going down. Look at this. What a huge drop since I've been gone. It was at like 45%, wasn't it?
Yeah, everybody's in stables right now.
Yeah.
We watched that some last week continue to drop. Yeah, it was up close to 45 at one point.
Yeah.
And both for Bitcoin and Ethereum going down because everybody's going into stables. It'd be interesting if they put a Tether one up next to it.
Yeah. Thor's Hammer says BitBoy called the dollar pumping. He was right. We told you all last year it was coming. The entire from about May on last year, we were the only channel out here that was telling you the dollar was going to become more valuable. It's a great talking point in crypto to say it's going to be less valuable. Fiat system, overthrow it, yada, yada, yada. It's not that simple, guys. Things are not that cut and dry. It's very obvious where things are going with a deflationary time period that we're going through right now. I mean, we've yet to realize any amount of deflation as the number is kept going up. When is that number out, by the way? Can you look that up real quick, TJ?
Sure.
The number for the inflation numbers, because that's going to be really interesting. So ETH gas coming in at 39 Gwei, or as you guys know, that'd be 19.5 Paraguay. Bitcoin under 20,000, $19,463. Ethereum at 1,100. Ethereum holding pretty steady over the last several weeks, and really Bitcoin has too, flirting around with 20,000. You look at the market caps. What's going to be really interesting is, do you foresee Tether passing Ethereum in market cap at some point?
That's close. I mean, if it's,
I don't think we will. I think Ethereum's already dropped so much.
I think so. There's a chance that it could vary temporarily if things get real ugly. Everybody piles into stables, everything crashes and then comes back. But that's a pretty big spread right there.
People make comments on the dollar. Yeah, the DXY is basically the way the dollar compares to foreign assets, to foreign fiat, to countries' money outside of the United States. Yes, inflation has made the dollar itself much weaker, but against the world currencies, which is actually the more important thing, right? Because if we lose the reserve currency, if we're not one of the strongest currencies out there and we lose that, then our entire economy tanks. So it is very important to understand that, yes, it's not technically the amount of spending power, purchasing power with a dollar, but it is compared to other countries in the world, which shows you we're not the only country going through this stuff right now. The fact that our dollar is getting stronger against foreign currencies. I think a couple of weeks ago it was 1-to-1 with the euro. I don't think it's ever been 1-to-1.
I'm pretty sure I saw a stat today that said it's a 20-year high against the euro. Highest it's ever been in 20 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the euro's only been around for like 20 years, right?
Also, July 13th is when the next CPI data comes out.
Okay, so
next Wednesday.
Okay, well, that's a big day, big day. Cardano, 44 cents. XRP at 32 cents about. Solana back in the top 10. I don't know if it fell out, actually. I'm not sure. But, all right, let's go ahead and bring Frank on to come talk charts here. Y'all got enough of Frank. You got 5 minutes, Frank, and I need my show back.
Yeah, you guys must be sick of me at this point. Welcome back, Ben. Super happy to have you back. The energy in the office is already bumping. But we got a lot of good stuff to talk about on the charts here. Speaking of the dollar getting stronger, we're going to take a look at the DXY and see how that is looking. Right now, you know, I've been saying this recently on the stream. It's been, you know, kind of hard to read, right? Trading has been a little rough recently. So I think, you know, chasing every single trade has it's hard when you're trading to, you know, not try to chase every pump and every dump. And I say this on my channel a lot. You know, there's going to be another pump. There's going to be another dump. So don't go crazy trying to catch every single one, because that's how you can just completely wreck your account. And especially right now, you know, things are pretty hard to read, as you guys are going to see in just a second. We have bullish things coming up, bearish things coming up on all different time frames. Very, very hard to read. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look here. So taking a look, starting here on Bitcoin. On the bullish side, we do have the weekly green dot, which I have complete trust issues with now, because, you know, every time they come around, they never stick around. They always go away. They never confirm. But, you know, it is printing. So that is a bullish sign, right? If we can finally get this green dot to confirm, it could mark at least a temporary bottom, if not a complete bottom here. Now, you know, obviously with all the things going on, you know, we do think it could come a little bit lower, but it would be nice to confirm this green dot and you know, see a little bit of relief, maybe maybe a green Hikinashi candle here on the weekly, if that's not too much to ask Bitcoin. But, you know, coming down to the daily, right, that daily bullish divergence still in play here. Can it bring us up? You know, hard to say, but just to show you guys some of these mixed signals, right? Weekly is looking pretty good with that green dot printing. You know, coming to some of these other higher hourly time frames, 10-hour money flow coming up very nicely here. 8-hour, similar story. Money flow coming up very, very nicely here. 6-hour, same thing, right? Coming close to a crossover. The VWAP is coming down, so you might get dragged back into the red a little bit, but money flow is coming up, right? And then also on the 2-hour. The 2-hour looks great with this money flow crossover into the green. Money flow coming back out, but you do have your VWAP coming up that can save you, right? So this is looking pretty bullish as well. But then these lower time frames are just, you know, you're in the red on the 15-minute. The 30-minute is coming down. Money flow coming out, right? Money flow indicating that money is leaving the asset. So, you know, coming down here.
What real quick, can you take a quick look at the SPY?
Yes.
I just want to take a quick look at that. Because the market just opened, right? I mean, a couple hours ago.
Yep. Let me come to a higher time frame.
Good daily, yeah.
Boom, there we go.
Okay, so falling. Okay.
Yeah, so, you know, essentially, yeah, getting rejected from this area, coming down a little bit.
Because that's always going to push money out of the crypto markets when that happens.
Exactly. Because they do follow each other for the most part. And then, you know, on Ethereum, I would say Ethereum's looking a little more bullish than Bitcoin. Obviously, it's going to follow Bitcoin's lead, so you want to remember that. But, you know, with Ethereum, you're getting the weekly green dot, but you're also getting the 6-day green dot printing here as well, where you don't have that happening on Ethereum. We did a alert on in our Discord. If you guys are not in our Discord, get in there. We did alert. Now we do have different charts now because I am using my own trading view.
Where's the best place for them to find that link for the Discord?
Yeah, so if you guys want to join the Discord, you can find, I believe it's on frankiecandles.com, but if you go to my YouTube channel, any description anywhere on any video, the Discord link is all over the place on the YouTube channel. It should be easy to find in the description of any video. But I put TA in there. It's not every single day. It's completely free. It's not every single day, but I do put my TA in there a lot. We've been making some really good calls. People are loving it. We have other really good traders in there. It's a great place to learn. But speaking of the dollar strengthening here, let's just go ahead and check in on the.
Oh my God!
Oh, look at that!
Wow.
There is
what's the number? 106?
Yeah, 106.
Holy crap!
6. Yeah, this thing is mooning. The DXY is mooning. So
expect some bleed out.
Yeah. Obviously, going to be a little more bearish for the crypto markets. Now, I would say,
God, it broke another freaking line.
Yeah, it's just going right.
Sheesh.
And on in a macro sense, not too surprising. I know a lot of people were expecting, a big rejection, which wouldn't have made sense for a traditional Bitcoin bear market, which is kind of why I was expecting, to continue higher here. But, another breakout for the DXY, out of all the things to see go parabolic, the DXY is not one that you want to see. But you could see we broke out, bullishly retested these areas of support before absolutely launching out. And then the 4-hour did come into the red with the money flow, but we're right back into the green. So it does look like we could come up a little bit more. And then on Bitcoin, just to give you guys a couple of levels to keep an eye on here, because like I said, it is pretty hard to read right now. But just to give you guys some levels here, we do have a value area low right here. That we could retrace to, but we do also have a spider line right here coming in at about $19,035. So we should be able to find some good support on this spider line, and it is also the bottom of our box here as well. So, if we break that spider line, you will have that little bit of backup. So these are kind of the levels I'm watching, and then this other level here at about 19,981 is going to be some local resistance right above you. But if you're trading, guys, just be careful out there trading because, with the longs, a lot of the longs that I've been getting into, most of them have been getting stopped out in profit, which is good. But, we try to long and the market just spits right in our face. So be careful with the longs. Make sure you're using good risk management because there's a lot of weird price action going on.
No, that was something I was going to ask you. Now that we've established under 20K, do you see that being a pretty tough resistance going forward instead of support?
Yeah, that's a great point. I
got something big to say about that.
This is like, I woke up today, saw we were back below 19, back below 20, and I'm just like, we cannot hold 20K, which is definitely is pretty bearish in my opinion. So yeah, not good that we can't hold that 20K level.
Well, let me give you a scenario here that I've just been sitting here thinking about as you've been talking about everything. Are we possibly right now in a liquidity freeze that is keeping people from selling because all their money are stuck on insolvent exchanges? And potentially that would indicate maybe there's already a bottom. You know what I'm saying? So if people were panicking and they want to go pull their money out and sell it, how much money is locked up on these insolvent exchanges?
Right. Yeah.
So that could be why we're seeing such tough support, in the $17,000 to $20,000 range, why it's not going down, even though a lot of people think it will. I still believe we see $10,000 to $14,000, and I think this is how it happens. I think it's just a theory. I'm not telling you guys this is definitely going to happen, okay? But I do think thinking about this liquidity crunch is something we should be putting in our brain here, as you're looking to cover all bases. What I can see is Bitcoin starts climbing back up because of this liquidity freeze. People can't sell down. Price goes back up to about $28,000, somewhere around there. A lot of these exchanges are once again solvent, and they're able to, sell part of their treasuries, whatever, to give money back to people. And then after the midterms, it dumps one last time down to 10 to 14,000. And then we don't have the liquidity crunch, and then we get a massive bounce. I think when we see the bottom of this market, it is going to be extremely obvious. I don't think we're going to have to question it. I think we're going to see this thing go from maybe 28 down to 14 and back up to 23 or something. I think that's probably what we're going to see. At this point, it's hard to see it getting back up to 28 in a short term. But that's what history says. That's probably what we're going to see.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. The insolvent exchange is kind of forcing people to hold.
Yeah.
If they're going to get their money back
That's
or not is
question.
something completely different, but could be holding off some of the sell-off. Real quick before I hop off, TJ, if you can just cut to the chart real quick. I do just want to point out this as well. I've said this many times on the stream, when we get these big capitulations down, we will kind of consolidate sideways, creating these bear flags. So another thing to keep an eye out for here, big capitulation down, and obviously these are bigger swings, but we are starting to capitulate sideways, or I'm sorry, consolidate sideways like this, which is typical to see after these big moves. So I was kind of expecting to find a trading range here. So maybe we range here for a little bit, like I said, until something like that happens, what Ben was talking about. So I think that's all I got. Bing bong.
Bing bong. Yeah, it was interesting.
Thanks for letting me on your show, Frank.
Don Alt tweeted over the weekend. I think it was the weekend. He was like, yeah, why don't we all just buy previous all-time high at 20K like we said we did and stop trying to be macro geniuses? And it really hit me.
That's the message we've been giving.
Yeah.
You know?
But think about this, like what you were just saying with the liquidity or lack thereof when it comes to Bitcoin and prices and all that. If we all just bought under 20K and immediately removed it from the exchange, the amount they would have would be less and less and less. The premiums would go up, and we'd have a supply crunch on Bitcoin. And I think that could happen, exactly the scenario you were just outlining.
Yeah, I mean, it's you haven't heard anybody talking about this.
No,
nobody's made that connection yet. I believe that I've seen.
Yeah,
but it makes sense. It's forced hodling right now.
It's almost, if you think about why they talk about a free market, right, is it self-corrects. It's going to be painful, but once it corrects, the blood is washed out. So right now we've got all these exchanges that are getting caught with their pants down, right? And it's going to cause a very violent crash. That being said, we realized there's a lot less Bitcoin out there than what we thought. A lot less people have it. All this paper Bitcoin is going to get wiped away, and all of a sudden, when it gets pushed up, people buying and holding Bitcoin for real. It's kind of like a spot ETF, just through people actually holding their own crypto instead of letting it all sit on exchanges. I think the mass withdrawal from exchanges is gonna have a big effect.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when that happens, but it's not like they're going to sequentially come back online like day after day. You know, so somebody on here said 2018 bear market had 5 drops. This one's had only 2. You know, that's relative. The number of drops isn't important. The numbers are more important. But I do believe, you know, like I said, I think we're going to 14K or lower. I do believe that. And somebody said also, Ben just made a lot of people super bearish. Guys, you have to understand, okay? I have been through this multiple times. This is not something I enjoy doing, coming up here and saying the price. I am so bullish on Bitcoin over the long term and Ethereum over the long term, Cardano and XRP and Metaverse, so bullish on this stuff for the long term that it's been a hard process for me over the years to get to a part where I can take that bias out and I can tell you what's actually probably going to happen regardless of how I feel things should be happening. Right now, we are going through something very similar. I would compare what we're going through right now to what we went through in 2014 with Mt. Gox crashing. That was 90% of all Bitcoin transactions. This is not close to 90%, but this kind of black eye can push Bitcoin down lower to where people will get probably the last best chance to buy Bitcoin at a great price. And a lot of people didn't think that was going to happen. We told you we thought it would happen. But I'm just trying to give you the realistic picture because TJ and I both, we wrote everything down to 0 in 2018. Mm-hmm. We wrote everything down to 0. We've done that before. Mm-hmm. Why? Because we let our bullish bias affect our financial decisions. This time we took profits on the way up and we're being smarter with our money and we're keeping money on the sidelines in case we get the numbers we think we're going to get. It's just reality, guys. It's reality. I can only tell you what's actually happening. If you came to this channel because you started watching in 2020 and 2021 when we were in a bull run, and I said Bitcoin was going to 100K and your altcoins were going to 100X, this is a different time. This is a different phase of the Bitcoin cycle. And, you know, we just try to give you exactly what we think is going to happen, and we can only tell you what we're doing.
Well, and the other part about where we're at right now is this is the opportunity time. This is the time for you to accumulate and get stuff at prices that you won't see for years and years after, you know, the next couple months. There's really a 3 to 6 month period that's very ideal to accumulate depending on, you know, minor pumps here and there. And you have a chance to set yourself up for the rest of your life if you're paying attention and learning right now.
It took me 9 years to become a millionaire in crypto. It's one of my favorite stats. 9 years. Could have been much faster if I got the proper education. If I was on crypto YouTube every day from, you know, watching Bitcoin Uncensored with freaking Krista Rose, you know, in 2012. And if I had been on, you know, it would only take me probably a year or 2, you know, but, you know, a lot of you guys are going to have an opportunity that you never dreamed you would have. You feel tricked when you get into crypto, right? You feel tricked. You're like, I came in at the wrong time. I missed it. It sucks, blah, blah, blah. You feel tricked. It hurts. But if you stay in, you'll learn that was actually the best process for you forward. So, all right, let's do Twitter Buzz. Move on here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Twitter Buzz. Okay.
We need some sounds.
We do. John Deaton. Just because you call something a security doesn't make it one. Saying something like cryptocurrencies have attributes of securities doesn't make them securities. There's no such thing as almost a security. It's like halfway pregnant. If an asset doesn't meet all 4 prongs of Howey, it is not a security. And I, of course, made a very interesting argument myself on this basis a couple, maybe last week. I really believe that Windex should be considered a security. That's right. Windex, you clean your glass with it. You clean your windows with it. Comes in a little container, a little blue container. You know, if this was blue, maybe I have some of this. Maybe I just squirt it, I don't know if I should have done that.
Yeah, right at the really expensive cameras.
Yeah, it's just water. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the fact is that why do people bulk buy Windex at Sam's Club or Costco? Is it because they think they're going to have to be cleaning their windows for the next 55 years without going to a store? Most likely not. A lot of people will go do Amazon reseller. They will buy items in bulk from Costco or Sam's Club, and then they will resell them for a higher return. How is that not an investment contract? If you are going into something believing you are going to profit on it by buying it at the current price, then that technically should be a security according to the SEC. It really is absolutely insane the extent they go to. And don't even get me started on sports memorabilia or comic books or baseball cards. Don't even get me started on that because they match a security way more than a cryptocurrency does. So you can't, Gary Gensler, we know, one of the slimiest lizard people of all lizard people out there. He knows what he's doing. And that's the thing that pisses me off. He's so intellectually dishonest. You guys know that. I cringe at that. Makes me so angry. And also, Crypto Mom. Let me talk to Crypto Mom for a second. Hester Pierce. Where are you at calling out William Hinman for what happened? Where are you at? Where are the people that are supposed to be on the SEC that have our backs? Where are they putting pressure inside their organization? They're not. That's why they're just as fraudulent as every other person there. When you look at the William Hinman evidence from ETHgate and you see what actually happened there, I had to take some glasses off and take a look at it for real before I understood what was going on there. Why is no one speaking out about this? Nobody from the SEC. If you're a good guy on the SEC, you need to say something about this. That's how we know we have no good guys on the SEC.
Whoa.
Still sticking with my Bitcoin bottom call, 10K to 14K by the end of November, first week of December. Bitcoin can go back up above 28K in short term, and that's a highly speculative. I don't know that it will do that. But ultimately, history tells us after midterm election, we should bottom. Now, you guys have to keep in mind this here, which is when it comes to Bitcoin cycles, we make a lot of big statements about Bitcoin cycles, and they've mostly been true. We call the Bitcoin top between Halloween and Thanksgiving. We missed the number, and that's all people judge us for, but understandably so. Very disappointing. But the fact is that we only have so much data to go for, and we're going to constantly be meeting these juxtapositions, if you will. One of these is, of course, for the first time ever, we crossed beneath the previous cycle 4-year high at $20,000. So that's something now we have to throw out. We now have to say that was something that was true in the past, but it's no longer true. And now we got to give much bigger data points to be able to make those decisions. But every Bitcoin cycle we've had so far, the bottom has came 3 to 5 weeks after the midterm elections. So definitely something to watch. And some people have raised the argument, by the way, and I don't know if you've heard this, TJ. Some people have raised the argument, we're not actually on a Bitcoin cycle, we're on an election cycle. And it just coincidentally, the Bitcoin halving lines up with presidential election and the midterms line up with the bear market.
I've heard that theory too. And I think you could kind of make the case both ways. They're both a 4-year cycle and they
play into each other, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's by design. I feel like when Satoshi launched it at the back of the financial crash in 2008, seeing what was coming with, it is politics and Bitcoin, as much as you want to separate them, I don't think you'll ever be able to. It just always will be part of it. But I tend to agree the election cycle definitely has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Here's Peter Schiff. Here's another headline you won't read. Wrong, Peter. I'm reading it right now. Peter Schiff's bank falsely accused by the media of facilitating tax evasion and money laundering is being closed because even though he's innocent, Its premature conviction by the media ruined its reputation and crippled it financially. Well, definitely heart goes out to Peter on this one. We had why am I in the background? There we go.
Yeah. It's going to.
Wow, wow, wow. You pull a tweet down.
Yeah.
Look, I like Peter personally. I did I've done several interviews that never got, put out. I don't know why. But we did a debate with Peter Schiff, and I got to know him a little bit. And, I do think he, controls, he basically uses Bitcoin as a growth mechanism, obviously. But he believes a lot of stuff he says. But we certainly don't want to see people getting their bank accounts closed down. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you look at the stuff that happened with the sanctions over there, in one of those large countries over there in half Europe, half Asia. Try not to say it. I don't want to get banned. But like when the sanctions were levied against them, you're like, oh yeah, they're bad guys. We want to see that. But then you're like, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
If they can do it to the bad guys, they can do it to me. It's kind of one of those moments. And, hey, Peter, they can't shut down your Bitcoin account. So there you go.
That was the best tweet. He had an issue where he was talking about trying to transfer a large thing and they wouldn't facilitate it, and all this stuff's going on. And the top tweet underneath was like, if only there was some way to convey or to transfer wealth without third party, intermediaries. That's good.
It's interesting here on Fear and Greed Index. We're at 19. We're at 11 yesterday. Well, no, actually 14 yesterday. We were 11, I guess, on Friday, the last day we pulled it up. Okay, let's get to the news. Bitcoin spikes to 20K as Whalebot BTC confirmed support. I would say that Clarence Thomas with the super chat. You can send in a resume to jobs@bitboycrypto.com, or is it jobs at
BitBoyCrypto?
Jobs@bitboycrypto.com. Bitcoin spike. Bitcoin price spikes to 20K as Whalebot BTC confirmed support. I want to caution you guys on this. This does not always mean the price is going up. It doesn't mean there's a bottom. But there you go. We got Bitcoin tourists have been purged. Only hodlers remain. This is in the same vein. Like, really, if you look at these two headlines, they're actually very similar, because really what they're trying to portray is, hey, guys, it can't go any lower. Look, the whale's bot here. It can't go lower than this.
I think the worst is in, I think is what they're trying to say.
Yeah. And I don't think that's true. You also agree the worst is not in, correct? You think it may be?
Not the bottom, I think. But yeah, the drawdown from 60 to 20, that's the worst of it. If it goes from 20 to 14, doesn't make a huge difference.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you're saying like it's already been pounded.
Yeah.
Like, what's a little more pounding going to do? Make it swole.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah. And we're seeing that. I mean, we see with our numbers. How many people we got watching today?
We have about 5,600 people watching.
Not bad for first time per day.
1,200 likes though. So
hey guys, if you do us a favor, make sure to smash the like button. And this is one thing that's really cool. I don't know if you guys have noticed. There's basically no crypto channels have grown except for one. It's weird, isn't it? None of the other channels grow, but one just keeps adding on every single day. It's a long story, but I guess when an affiliate marketing company runs your channel, I guess you got ways to get traffic. But the point here is we have not really fallen off that much from where we were, outside of when things were peaking. We're getting about 6,000 users, and that's a lot. I know if you look at the numbers, you're like 1.45 million, 70% of those people are gone at least.
Mm-hmm.
So we still get very high engagement on this channel, and it shows that it backs up what this is saying. We're building a base. Every Bitcoin cycle you go through, you build a bigger base, not just for attention, but also in hodling. And that's, I think, really the thing to pay attention to here. 10-year Treasury yield slips as recession fears rattle market. U.S. Treasury yields were mixed on Tuesday as concerns about a potential economic recession continue to send investors in search of safety. At around 10 a.m. Eastern, the yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury note dropped 8 basis points to 2.824%, while the yield on the 30-year Treasury bond fell more than 5 basis points to 3.072%. Yields move inversely to prices, and a basis point is equal to 0.01%. So let's see if we can find, does it have the chart here? It doesn't have the chart. In the shortened data, or in the shortened week, excuse me, investors, I'll answer that Pluto Alliance question Q&A, by the way. Can you keep that?
Mm-hmm.
Investors are looking ahead to the release of June jobs report data on Friday. So, guys, this has not been good the last couple of times. We don't want to see a strong job market right now. You actually want to see a lessening job market. That's actually more bullish for the economy where we are right now. I know that sounds complicated, but it's true. According to Dow Jones estimates, job growth likely slowed in June. That's good, with 250,000 non-farm payrolls added, down from 390,000 in May. That's a huge drop. That's a huge drop. That's almost a 40% drop? Economists surveyed expect the unemployment rate to hold at 3.6%. Minutes from the Federal Reserve's latest monetary policy meeting will also come into focus Wednesday. Now, I told you guys weeks ago when we got the news from the Fed, I said, pay attention on Wednesday. I lied. I did not say pay attention on Wednesday. I said pay attention to when the minutes come out. I didn't know what day they'd be coming out. I said pay attention because what I could see happening is not getting a big drop the day we got the last BIP increase, but when the minutes come out, we get more details and that pushes us down. So I'd be very hesitant to being along tomorrow. I would just go ahead and tell you that. I think that these Fed minutes consistently have pushed the market down because it's more of like a opening the real Pandora's box and looking at what they're actually talking about. And they're saying, a 0.75% increase for next month. Man, that would put, if they do a 0.75% increase next month, I believe that puts us at 2.5%. I believe so. That's the number that I think they were targeting, was getting it to 2.5%. And a lot of people will tell you that the Fed rate increases don't actually hit the economy until you get to that percent. This potentially would open us up because I don't think there's a Fed meeting in August for maybe September. I've been telling you guys, I believe the December Fed meeting is where we get the quantitative easing back instead of the quantitative tightening. If we get a 0.75% increase, we could look at September. Now, let me tell you what I think we could see. We could see a 0.5% or a 50 BIP increase in July, and then we get a 25 BIP increase to bump it up to 2.5% in September. Still sets us up for December to be the meeting where they bring back quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is coming back. I mean, I don't see any way they're not.
They've got one in November and December.
There's one in November and December.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That could be the catalyst for maybe November they don't announce it. That pushes us down to the bottom. December they do announce it. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So here, God, look at this guy. Is that a meme or what?
Holy cow.
God, this guy. Federal Reserve Tracker of Economic Growth pointing to an increased chance the U.S. economy has entered into a recession. However, the Atlanta Fed's GDP Now measure, which tracks economic data in real time and adjusts continuously, sees second quarter output contracting by 2.1%, coupled with the first quarter's decline of 1.6%. That would fit the technical definition of recession. So this is big because this is the first time that we have seen someone from the Fed actually indicate we are in recession. This is the first time. So this is big news. Tracker took a fairly precipitous fall from its last estimate of 0.3% growth on June 27th. Data this week shows further weakness in consumer spending, and inflation-adjusted domestic investment prompted the cut to put the April through June period into negative territory. So, look at this guy. Is this a guy you can trust? Like, this guy's asleep on national TV. He's asleep on national TV. And he says, we're not going into a severe recession. What a bad freeze frame.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
He looks kind of like Gollum a little bit.
They didn't do him any favor. He does.
My precious, my Bitcoins. We're not going to have a severe recession, says this guy. I love when they bring these guys on, guy you've never heard of. He's from Wharton, must know what he's talking about. That's what they say. Whether that turns into recession is unknown. We already kind of talked about what that number is. National Bureau of Economic Research, the official arbiter of recessions and expansions, knows that 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth isn't necessary for a recession to be declared. They're changing the CPI numbers again, guys.
Yep.
Like, you guys understand what this is saying? This is saying, like, now listen, we've always judged it before in this way, but now
maybe not.
I don't know if that works anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why we were doing that to begin with.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just stop counting.
Let me meme myself. Top of the market is going to be between Halloween and Thanksgiving. It's December. I don't know. Maybe it's still going to go up. That's how I feel. I'm as dumb as the Wharton guy. We're going to nail it next time, though.
Yeah. It's all right.
We got to trust our gut better.
We learned a lot. We did take a lot of profits this time. We told everybody else to take a lot of profits this time. We actually did call when it started going back down, just didn't take as many profits as we should have. So we'll clean that up next time around.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, our crypto portfolio has been decimated. Obviously, we got money locked up in Celsius, money locked up in KuCoin. I don't think we have any other insolvent exchanges that we have money on, but You know, and we'll move on and talk about Nexo here. Speaking of this, Nexo taking steps to acquire distressed crypto lender Vald, which and FTX is trying to get on. They're trying to get on what's it called? BlockFi. They're looking at buying them for like $25 million.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, basically a 1% of the original valuation.
Yeah. And guys, like I said, we talked about Nexo or about Vald before. We've covered Nexo on the channel before, but you know, this one hurt particularly because this is one that we had worked with, you know, in a professional fashion at some point, and we like them a lot. And guys, I want to say this, okay? Celsius are the real scammers here. I want everybody to understand this. Celsius was so negligent with our money that they pretty much single-handedly have crashed tons of other platforms. Think about that. Three Arrows Capital, a lot of money tied up in Celsius. What's Vald? Probably I don't know if Vald had any in Celsius, but what is the other one? There was another big one that had a lot of money wrapped up in Celsius. Do you remember off the top of your head?
Exchange?
Yeah, there was another exchange that did. And then you had Doug Polk's company, right?
Oh,
He's an ambassador for.
Yeah.
Doug Polk, who made all kinds of videos about me over the summer, begging for my clout, which I would never respond to. By, you know, he used to be a big deal in crypto. He's a joke, absolute joke. But he made all these scams I talked about, and then he's the ambassador for basically, you know, one of these insolvent exchanges. And he came out, he's like, I'm so sorry, I have to separate myself. You know, judge lest ye be judged. That's what I have to say to him. Judge lest ye be judged. I had to drop a little Bible verse on him. And you know, the guy's a master manipulator, and so he'll come out and say something to try to make his image look good. But the guy's just a douche, straight up. And I certainly am not happy for people from Coin. Well, I don't even know what it was called. CoinCheck?
It
wasn't CoinCheck.
Yeah, it's CoinFlex.
CoinFlex.
Yeah,
I think it was CoinFlex.
But I don't know that for sure. So if
I
there's a
think
coin everything. So
coin
I don't.
Everything. I agree. But the fact is, I love it when people point fingers at me and then they come out and the same thing happens to them. And you know what? I have grace for them. I have grace for people that do that. I'm going to call them out on the channel for it, dang sure enough. But it's pretty despicable when people try to just build clout off of other people that are successful. And the guy's a leech, and that's what he does. So, you know, certainly don't want to see people lose money, but it was certainly good to see him get a dose of his own pretentious medicine. So, but Vald, one we worked with, you know, same thing. I want you guys to understand, because Celsius had such a big hand in all of these things crashing, you can't call all these other people scammers. Like, you can't call Vald a scammer. You can't call Nexo scammers. You can't call BlockFi scammers. You can't call Three Arrows Capital scammers. They were all operating under the same assumption that most of us were, which was Celsius was being responsible with their money, and that they wouldn't become insolvent if all of a sudden the money they had locked up was gone. Like, you guys know, we had $3 million on there. It's a lot of money. You know it's a lot of money if I say it's a lot of money. $3 million. And so it doesn't mean that the people that run these things intentionally got here. They were just led astray like the rest of us were. And we've got a lot of work to do over the next 4 years to get crypto to a different place. And I think this is all great. If you lost all your money, it's not great. Okay, I don't want to make light of that. But in the grand scheme of things, I believe you'll make it back. In the grand scheme of things, we have all collectively learned our lesson, I believe. And I think this is going to make us much better. Talk about all the time how I lost $2,500 in a phishing attack back in 2018, handed my private key over like an idiot, signed a signature request on my Ether wallet. That was a significant amount of my portfolio after it dropped to zero, basically. And, you know, in 2018, and you know what? It was a very valuable lesson for me. And I made way more money in the next bull run. And I was able to recover that money 100 times over. And I was able to be safer with it. So you got to look at these things as, you know, something, you know, to draw a lesson from. T-Cash says, what about Voyager? Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think they're talking about it being insolvent.
Yeah. Well, they absolutely had money on Celsius.
Oh.
Celsius screwed Voyager too. But Celsius is the root cause of almost all of these insolvency problems.
Yeah, a lot of them. For sure.
And that's why they cannot be let off the hook for sure. Ben said KuCoin was insolvent. What I said, maybe I said that. Maybe I retweeted that. Here's what I'll say. You guys watch football? Like, you guys know I love football. Love football. Love going on the pitch. Talk about American football. The worst thing you can get as a coach is called the dreaded vote of confidence. That is when your team is really struggling and the owner is at a press conference and they ask the owner about the coach and they say, oh, he's doing a fine job. We know he's going to turn it around. That coach is getting fired every time.
Yeah, that sounds scary. That's kind of what I was saying about KuCoin. We don't know for sure,
Right?
But nothing feels safe right now.
So KuCoin, the founder came out and gave the dreaded vote of confidence that we saw from Celsius as well.
Voyager.
We saw it from Voyager as well. We've seen it from BlockFi. We've seen it from almost every platform where they come out and they say, well, no, we're fine. We didn't have money on there. We're good. Yeah. We're definitely not insolvent. What do you think they're going to do? Come out and say they're insolvent? Like, you think that's what they're going to do? They're going to be a massive run that's going to pull out all the liquidity they have left. So I'm not saying that, I'm not saying I don't trust KuCoin. I'm not saying I don't trust that message. What I'm telling you is you should be operating under the assumption that every single exchange you have money on is insolvent. That's the way you should be operating right now. Nothing is off the table. I really believe that. So definitely think that's something to, KuCoin is nothing like Celsius. Yes, they're not a lending platform. I think they actually probably do some lending on there. But Celsius, they say they didn't have money on Celsius. Most of these platforms did, and that's why they're belly up. So if they didn't have money on Celsius, then good on them. Obviously, they're smarter than us.
Well, and SBF last week saying 600 plus tier 3 exchanges are insolvent. He came back and later said, I wasn't talking tier 2 exchanges, but still, like we said, everything feels unsafe right now.
And people talk about,
let the dust settle.
I'm hearing people say not to use Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet's a Binance-owned wallet. I don't know why you wouldn't use Trust Wallet.
There's no, that's self-custody.
Self-custody. You own your own private key. So I don't think there's any problems
Nothing wrong with
that. There could be a problem if the United States comes out regulatory-wise and would basically force people off of Trust Wallet because it's a Binance-owned company. That's a potential. I don't see that happening, but that would be the only danger I see there. But somebody also, I'm down 40 pounds. Thank you for asking. And there was somebody else. Scroll up just a little bit more, a little bit right there. What exchanges do I say are fine? I won't say an exchange is fine. The 4 best candidates though would be Kraken, Coinbase, FTX, Binance. Next tier under that would be Gemini, and I believe Crypto.com is fine. I think they're fine, but I'm not going to put my name behind that one at this point.
Basically, just don't be leaving your savings on there. If you want to buy, if you want to trade, you want to swing trade, sure, but take your long holds and put it in a self-custody wallet. And that helps all of us, guys, because the less Bitcoin the exchanges have, the higher premium they have to charge to sell it. Like, just that's the way it works.
Supply and demand.
Yeah.
And I would also say MetaMask is okay. I mean, yeah, MetaMask is fine. We're looking at some pretty cool stuff. Maybe, putting some privacy layers on MetaMask down the road. But
yeah, I was going to say, just know that's owned by, they have all that information.
It's owned by a centralized company, but
JP Morgan.
Yeah, but if you own your private key, JP Morgan has your private key?
No, they own Consensus that owns MetaMask.
Yeah.
So you own the wallet, but they still have all your financial transaction information.
My voice has gotten a bit higher. That's like the second or third person that said that today.
Uh-oh.
What's going on here?
Not talking enough, I guess.
Benjamin Button, reverse puberty here. Somebody, I did want to say this. I know Frank comes up here and we talk about FEMAX, we talk about ByBit. Look, guys, if you're a trader, not a traitor like Doug Polk, whatever. But if you're an actual, trader, TRADER, you really almost have no choice but to have money on exchanges. Like, if you're in a position, that's the way it has to be. You need to understand, though, that if you're going to be a trader, that is a risk you're playing. But if you take profits, pull them off. Don't keep any more money on the exchange than you have to. But it is a necessary evil with as a trader. I don't know of any hardware wallet custody of your currently tradable funds are. I think that'll come in the future, but I don't think that exists right now. It may.
You can do it with Exodus and Shapeshift together on a Trezor. It's complicated, but you can do it.
Yeah, with Trezor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You can't do that there. I remember that. So anyways, Vault announced on Monday it paused customer withdrawals, volatile conditions. Nexo could be buying them. It's not an indicative term sheet with Vault, granting it an exclusive 60-day exploratory period. Some of our researchers had money on Vault, so hopefully this will get... you got to think, though, if an exchange is going to be solvent, you're going to be able to get your money back, it works backwards. It's going to be the smaller ones that become solvent first, I believe, because they have the least amount of money on there. It's a lot of money to recover. Kind of like you look at market cap. It's harder to move Bitcoin because the market cap's so high. It's harder to recover massive amounts of money in a short period of time, whereas if they're down a few million, they may be able to make that up.
Yeah.
So anyways, there we go.
That's why I know I don't feel good about Celsius. Actually, I felt bad. BTC Kyle blocked me because he was like,
Really?
he was running down a list of debts that Celsius has that they're paying back. And all I said, maybe it was a little too soon because I know he's big. He probably had a lot in Celsius. He was invested in Celsius, the company.
Yeah.
And I just said, acceptance is the last step. Like, bro, let it go. Like, you're not getting this.
Yeah.
And then it was an instant block. I was like, oh, wow, that must have hit him a little harder than I meant.
Well, we certainly hope everybody gets their money back. Like I said, we're pursuing legal action. I hope everybody gets their money back. I hope for the smaller holders' sake, especially.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because look, we'll recover $3 million very quickly on this channel. You know, I mean, as a company here with everything that we do, we got massive stuff coming. But we'll recover that money by the end of the year pretty easily. But you know, for somebody that spent the last 3 years trying to get 1 Bitcoin, that's not easy to recover. And so our heart goes out to those people. And, you know, we send thoughts and prayers to those of you that are totally tied up. We hope you do get the money back. Obviously, we need a Bitcoin pump, you know, and that kind of what leads me to believe it's not going to come, you know, because there's people wanting to liquidate people out there. So Coin Loan lowers withdrawal limit, citing market conditions. So there you go. Celsius repays 120 million stablecoin debt to Maker Protocol. This is the news that got them down to a liquidation price of $49.66. I don't think we see lower than $10,000. I know Crypto Savvy, who's coming on the channel soon, believes we'll see $3,000. I don't see it. I just cannot see Bitcoin going below. I can see it going to like $9,899 or something like that. Just a quick wick below, but that 10,000 is such a strong buy point. So Celsius facing a severe liquidity crisis. And you got to ask yourself this question too when it comes to Celsius. I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but to me, this is the biggest story because it affects the most people in crypto right now. The fact is that when it comes to Celsius and what they've done here, even if they don't get liquidated and Bitcoin goes back up to like 28K, they're not going to be able to make up all the money. No. They're still going to be somewhat insolvent. It's just who's able to get their money back. And it's going to be like a massive bank run, which is so ironic.
It's so upsetting.
So ironic.
That's why, even if it wasn't $2 billion, the fact that people looked at their books and said, no, this is too far gone. Let's look at BlockFi. Let's look at Nexo doesn't feel good for Celsius in any capacity. And the no communication, like this is kind of why I'm kicking myself is there were so many signs before, all the people quitting, all the people leaving, you know, like, it's like,
well, you didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, it just doesn't look good. And it's easier for me to just move forward than it is to keep looking back and hoping we're going to get bailed out by Celsius, because we're not.
Crypto Savvy was bearish the whole bull run. He sucks. Look, I like Crypto Savvy. He's got a similar story to mine. I like him. He's a good guy. Yeah. He's got extreme bearish bias, you know. He actually over the long term is bullish. I think he thinks we'll hit all-time highs again. He thinks what we're going through is the .com bubble. Yeah. So if you look at the .com bubble, it was horrible, but then look what happened after it. I think that's kind of his viewpoint.
Which, to be fair, he's not alone there either. Other people have that.
Yeah, Gareth Holloway, you know. Crypto Savvy says, never mind, I'm going to stop. I'm going to get myself in trouble with two people I like. So, we have zero issues, circles, Jeremy Allaire says, as rumors of USDC collapse surface.
Yeah.
And guys, it's very sketchy right now because you just have to think of, you know, you just have to think like, these are all the same rumors we saw about all these other things, and they all turned out to be true. You know, Jeremy Allaire saying that this is not happening to USDC. I don't see this happening to USDC. I think they're very buttoned up. Circle is in the strongest position it's ever been financially, and we'll continue to increase our transparency. Ooh, that's dangerous. Where has the transparency been? You know, past month there's been chatter. It's a risk of defaulting due to high interest rates. From Signature and Silvergate. Signature, the bank I use. If you're looking for a crypto-friendly bank, you can reach out to them in New York City. Anna Delvey and the Bad Vegan both used Signature, so they're pretty tight on security these days. And the BitBoy, so it's fun stuff. So they got every dollar deposited as match, yada, yada, yada. I think if, like, let me tell you what I've been giving you guys a lot of crazy out there theories. This is the time when it's fun to make theories. I think if this were true, you could see the U.S. government bail out USDC, and that's how they onboarded as a digital dollar.
Yeah, which I would say would have been a plan the whole time.
I agree. Yeah.
But the fact Circle owned by Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs was the one leading the charge to raise billions to buy Celsius assets, penny on the dollar. So if they can raise $2 billion to buy their assets on the cheap, I think they can back USDC.
Yeah.
Agree.
KuCoin CEO addresses FUD. Yeah, I mean, we already talked about this. They did not have exposure to Luna, Three Arrows Capital, Babel. I think Babel Finance, maybe. So there you go. Dreaded vote of confidence. Guys, you can't believe what these people say. I really want you to understand that. You cannot believe what KuCoin says.
Verify.
Because all the other exchanges said the same thing before they went insolvent. So I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying it's the same pattern that we've seen. So that's why you had to be careful. Act like everything's insolvent. Binance has the largest cash reserves and wants to bail out 50 companies going through crypto bear market. Well, that's good. We don't need to bail out Binance. We'll let you guys know that. Some people did it the right way. Understand taking profits, maybe not spending $1 billion at the top of the market. May not have been the smartest thing for some companies, but what we're seeing right now, I believe, is we are now starting to see the nuclear arms race between FTX, FTX, Coinbase, and Binance. That's what we're going to see. Look, Kraken's not insolvent. Gemini's not insolvent. Don't believe that. Crypto.com, like I said, fairly confident. That's where I draw the line because of the way they've had to redo their staking rewards. They don't have enough money to pay people, so they had to redo all that. Maybe that was a smart move to prevent them from getting there. I still believe, as long as they stay viable, Crypto.com is going to be a big coin in the next bull run. CRO, I believe that, along with the FTT, the FTX token. But what I would say is that, those top companies are all gobbling up right now. And they want to be a different level from the other exchanges. So while SBF mentioned 4 exchanges, I don't put Kraken on the same level as those other 3. You agree, right? You wouldn't put, Kraken's okay. I've learned Jesse Powell's probably more likable than I've made him out to be.
When it comes to financial standing, I would probably put it close, in the sense I think they've got a huge reserve. But when it comes to
they're doing well financially.
When it comes to marketing and business positioning acumen moves being made, definitely not. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Cardano founder joins Vitalik Buterin. Wow, that's
whoa.
This is like we are the world, we are the children. You just imagine Vitalik and Charles. We are
crypto's in a bad state if
when they're agreeing.
If Vitalik and Charles are working together.
Which, by the way, guys, make sure to check out. If you go to Twitter, check out this event here. They told me they were going to give me an affiliate code so I make some money on these tickets. I don't even care about that. I don't even want to make money on the tickets. I want you guys to just sign up for this event. October 14th and 15th, we are going to be in the Gaylord Rockies, Colorado, sister to the Grand Ole Opry.
Look
Did
at
not know that. The Gaylord Opry House, or whatever you call it in Nashville. But I'm going to be there on the 14th, 15th. I will be keynote along with Charles, and we are very excited about this event. Really, I think this would be a good chance for a lot of the Cardano community to really find out a little bit more about my commitment to Cardano and not just, we talk about it on the channel for clicks and stuff like that. So really looking forward to this event. You guys can check it out. It's at Rare Bloom Event. You get more details on that. I would love to see you guys out there turn into a BitSquad, meet up in Colorado, something like that might be kind of fun. So, but anyways, basically they were blasting Bitcoin for developers for talking about, POS, FUD, proof of stake FUD. Charles Hoskins, and founder of Cardano, voiced his discontent, alongside his former colleague Vitalik Buterin with Bitcoin developer Jimmy Song for statements regarding proof of stake networks. Man, old Jimmy Song, he's something, ain't he?
He's something.
He's something.
He first, I think that was my first maxi experience was Jimmy Song.
Yeah.
First time I really understood what a maxi was.
I had somebody reach out to me from our C12 group who knows him very well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a big Christian, and I don't know. I guess that's kind of being like halfway pregnant, but he's definitely a believer, and he talks a lot about that in certain settings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so on the other side of the world from him on what we think about crypto. It's just fascinating to me. We line up on a lot of the things that we think, but you get into crypto, and I don't know if he believes. Maybe he believes in Bitcoin Jesus.
Maybe.
That's Roger Ver, who I think defaulted or something. I don't know. I don't know the full ins and outs of that story. I didn't get to cover that. I wanted to talk about that last week.
We covered it last week.
But I'm not going to throw Jimmy under the bus here, but he's definitely very similar, to just the toxic maxis, Bitcoin or die, and Charles Hoskinson lit him up, though. He said the level of stupid here is beyond explanation. Says proof of stake does not follow the Byzantine generals problem, which is kind of what blockchain is based on, Byzantine fault tolerances and things like that. Therefore, it does not provide decentralized consensus. If you didn't understand this tweet, then you are completely unqualified to make any claims about proof of stake. Well, Jimmy, it sounds a lot like gatekeeping, old St. Peter up there, keeping the gates closed. Song took a pointed jab at proof of stake systems. Vitalik also did. He said, pro tip, if there's a long-established tradition of people debating A versus B based on deep arguments touching on math, economics, and moral philosophy, and you come along saying B is dumb because of a one-line technicality involving definitions, you're probably wrong.
Yeah.
Here's what he said. You're grasping.
I like that assessment of it. Like, he's basically saying, like, look, this is a very nuanced debate discussion with a lot of very smart people that make a lot of really good points. And there's trade-offs both ways. There is no clear right, wrong. It's just different. Two different ways to solve different problems. So if you just throw an entire argument out based on one line, it just shows.
Well, it's a separation between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. I mean, that's what happened. It was one statement about electronic currency, where involving the block size, and some wanted to keep it the same, some wanted to change it. That's how we got Bitcoin Cash, fork of Bitcoin back in December 2017, and that's where we get Bitcoin Jesus from, because that was Roger Ver, known as Bitcoin Jesus. Roger Ver, the most misunderstood person in all of crypto, I believe, for sure. This man was the angel investor of almost every major early Bitcoin company. First person to accept Bitcoin in a retail fashion on a website. He did more for Bitcoin than anyone outside of the cypherpunks themselves, and I think he gets a lot of undue hate because of the Bitcoin Cash stuff. But I think he was doing it for good reasons. But there was just a disagreement about a line, and that's what it all turned into. He didn't do himself any favors by flicking off that guy. So.
No, or by misrepresenting the website. That's what.
Oh yeah. Well, they changed that now.
They did, but that's what I think really turned a lot of people.
Well, now you know he was not actually the person that did the fork. Did you know that? He gets credit for kind of being the founder of Bitcoin Cash, but he actually jumped on the movement after it was already going.
No, I know that. I'm just saying the way he presented Bitcoin Cash as the real Bitcoin, using Bitcoin.com for such a long time. That was I didn't like that.
Yeah. Can Cardano pack a punch with Pacquiao NFTs? Now, I want to be clear. Hashtag Cardano community. These are not called CNFTs. They are Cardano NFTs. If you call them CNFTs, man, let me tell you, I'm going to sick old Sergio or whatever his name was on you. I don't think it was Sergio. Can't remember his name. What a dork. But yeah, look, Ada Gang is dead. We killed the Ada Gang while I was gone. It is now called the Cardano community. It's a little bit longer, a little harder to type. Takes up more characters on Twitter, which I'm not too happy about. But look, we are in. We're all in on Cardano. So the collection is named in memory of Pacquiao's Jack Russell Terrier dog, Pac-Man.
Wow.
This man named his dog his own nickname.
Wow.
That would be like, come here, little bit boy. Come here, little bit boy.
I could see it.
Come here, Bitty. Bitty, Bitty. I call him Bitty Bits.
Bitty Bits.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Collection consists of a bunch of algorithmically generated NFTs. Well, good he's using for, oh God, I missed this part. Who was accidentally run over by a car in 2020.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Now I don't even feel like making fun of it. That's very sad.
Poor Pac-Man.
Apparently we're using a voice synthesizer today. Apparently not making videos for 3 weeks in a row has healed my voice. Wow. Maybe this will be the first video we look back on and the voice changed.
Maybe it's that water in Disney just hits different, heals you.
It was a wheelchair. Got closer to sea level, Crypto market cap sees $50 billion in inflows. Yeah, that's good. Latest XRP. Where's my XRP army at? Throw the XRP.
Oh, that was the best part. Watching DZ trying to throw the X up all week with a broken arm. They throw us the X, and he's like,
These dog comments are pretty funny over here. Yeah. So that's good. No, I'm not. This channel made me millions. We made a lot of millionaires last year. In the last 2 years, we did. How many are still millionaires? That's a good question, but we'll make more. XRP milestone bigger than we realized, says Jeremy Hogan. I know he made a big video about this, I believe. He made a big video. I think it was on this topic. Legal expert Jeremy Hogan says the initiative to use XRPL in Colombia's land registry system is a huge accomplishment. Hogan claims partnership between Colombia and XRP Ledger is the perfect use for blockchain technology as it makes land registration system more efficient. So although the XRPL Colombia partnership is the perfect example of crypto utility, now this is the company. Wait, okay, this is confusing here. It's the country, Colombia, but here they spell it like the brand.
That's
so. It may. I mean, that probably a typo from Jeremy. I would think maybe. Yeah. See, lawyers make mistakes too, guys. Lawyers make mistakes too. We love Jeremy. We have the founder of XRPL Punks on tomorrow, by the way.
Nice.
We'll be on. We're bringing more XRP people on the channel. XR people. So definitely look for that tomorrow. Be on around our regular, 12:30ish XRP session. A little behind today because I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say. But this is good. I mean, we do know that, land is definitely something that, needs permanent records of. And so that's some good stuff. And then we also have Peter Schiff responding to his bank closures, claiming no evidence of crimes. We already talked about this, so we're not going to go back over this. That was on the beginning of Twitter Buzz, or it's actually the end of Twitter Buzz. I think, God, there's one thing I wanted to say about XRPL here. Oh, you guys know, quick hits. We just got two stories. Turkey embraces Bitcoin, inflation 24-year high. Yippee. Same thing for us. Once again, inflation 24-year high. I believe we're at a 40-year all-time high.
Yeah.
So our inflation is worse than Turkey. That's not good. Russian government blocks crypto news site for promoting money laundering. What? Bits.media. So never heard of that one. But hey, if the Russian people are looking to go after, a misinformation site, they should check out the site Cointelelie, founded by Russian miners, actually. Nobody knows that. Well, a few people know that. Very sketchy history on Cointelelie. Last thing I wanted to say was we've been teasing a lot of stuff on the channel. You guys know there is a OpenSea competitor that is getting ready to rise up out of the sea. You'll be hearing more about that over the next few months. Of course, we have this large XRP NFT drop, XRPL. That will be phenomenal. You guys are not going to believe what we're doing with that. You guys will see that towards the end of the year. I think we're going to wait until the NFT platform launches to do that. So maybe Q4. But one of the things that we've been talking a lot about is what we are doing legally, like what we are doing with legislation and trying to get crypto-friendly laws, investor-friendly laws passed. By the end of this week, I'll be able to really fill you guys in on what we're doing there, and it's super exciting. So look for one of those teases to pay off here pretty soon. Let's do Q&A real quick.
All right, the one we grabbed from earlier. Any update on Pluto Alliance airdrop? I think.
I would say, are you in the Discord, Water Dog? I would say go to the Discord, Pluto Alliance Discord. I believe you can get there by going to, I think it's PlutoAlliance.com. Is that the right site?
Yeah, or Pluto Alliance.
Let's see, PlutoAlliance.com. You should be able to go there. Click on the Discord link at the bottom. No, I don't see it. Where is the Discord link? Connect wallet, staking roadmap story. That would be a big problem if you can't get to the Discord from here. Socials. Well, I have to get down to that. I'll have to figure out where that is. I don't know how you get. And I have been spending some time in the Discord recently. So if you guys were waiting for that to happen, that has definitely been going on a little bit. We're going to put a little more functionality to that. I think if you go to Pluto Alliance on Twitter, you should be able to find that. Let's go there. Twitter, Pluto Alliance. So our floor price is now back almost to 0.2. So it was at 0.14 for a while. We're one of the only floor prices that's been going up. You guys know we give away all of our YouTube monetization money from YouTube ads, all of our profits every month to our Pluto Alliance holders. So here's the link tree from Twitter, and there you can get to the Discord. So Pluto Alliance Discord. Go in there and ask. Somebody should be able to answer your question, because we talked about it briefly this morning, but I'm not confident enough in it to give you a firm answer on that.
After Ethereum and Cardano, what is your favorite layer one blockchain ecosystem? I assume he means smart contract, but
I'm very partial to Cosmos. I'm very partial to Cosmos. It's underperformed a good bit. Every time it started to get a little traction and running, Bitcoin dumped, similar to what we saw with XRP. But I tend to like Cosmos, but I will tell you the one I believe with the most potential is Polkadot. And why? Well, it's not fully rolled out yet.
Yeah.
There are already some, what do they call them? The side chains. What do they call the side chains?
Parachains?
Yeah, parachains. There's already some parachains. A Kala network, one definitely to watch out for. Some other Moon River or Moonbeam from Moon River. I think, is it Clover Finance maybe is the other one? There's several that have been instituted so far, but we haven't really seen the full. It's going to take a long time to roll out. I think that actually gives it a little bit of strength because there's not a lot to pick apart with it. Like there is congestion on other networks. So I would say watch out for Polkadot. That's the one I believe has the most potential outside of Cardano. The only one that I believe can compete with Cardano if everything goes correct for Polkadot.
Interesting. Yeah, I like both of those picks. I'm kind of surprised you're on Cosmos. I like that.
I've only loved Cosmos. I think the technology. Look, I'm not a tech guy. Obviously, you guys know that. But the technology that's being used from the Tendermint, BFT, and stuff like that, it's not something that you really see with a lot of other platforms where basically other projects are borrowing their technology. And I think that gives it a big wingspan.
I agree.
To touch a lot of places.
I was one of the ones I really liked.
Gavin Wood's still bad haircut, though.
I just thought I'd have to convince you on it a little bit more, but no.
I've always liked Cosmos.
So here's an interesting, on the similar vein, any thoughts on BNB? BNB was one of the best performing coins of the entire run, dropped only 73%. Is still all-time high possibility, extremely underrated. Thoughts?
So this is what I would say. I would say Binance Coin, definitely a great coin. It's going to be around for a long time. It was one of the number one performers. Chainlink was number one performer of 2018, 2019. Binance Coin, 2019 really started stunting. I guess you could say it was stunting. But the thing is that, we don't usually see the same repeats for top performing coins. I would tell you to look at other exchange coins, FTT specifically, the number one that we're looking at. And then obviously right behind that, CRO, I do believe has a lot of potential. What I would tell you about Binance Coin, you need to understand the reason why it performed so well in 2018 and 2019. It was because they launched ICOs on Binance. What did they call it?
A launch pad.
They had the launch pad. It was an ICO launch pad. Maybe I don't think they call it an IDO because it wasn't decentralized. It was centralized. Some of the projects that launched during that time, Elrond launched on there. Matic, Polygon launched on there. Cartesi launched on there. And a lot of those projects had really, really, really good runs. And because they were doing those launch pads, you had to own a certain amount of Binance Coin, a BNB, in order to get whitelisted to buy those. So I don't really think we're seeing the same level of excitement around launchpad projects. I don't know if they're still, I assume they're still doing them. We don't see that level of excitement because people are not thinking we need more coins right now. I don't know anybody that thinks we need more coins. Everybody thinks we need less coins. Yeah. So that was one of the reasons why it blew up so big. I particularly target FTT because I think if they are able to bring in Nick Damani, ladies and gentlemen, if they are able to bring in, God, I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Nick came in, he rubbed FTT, he peeked in the door, he rubbed his nipple and then left.
Launchpad products, IDO, Binance at FTT.
If FTT is able to bring in leverage trading, even if it's only up to like 5x or 10x, and make it legal for United States citizens, regulated over the next year, that coin is going to explode. Agreed. Because there has been such a built-up tension in traders where they don't trust any exchange out there. They don't trust ByBit. They don't trust Femex, for all kinds of different reasons. I'm not saying, I trust them as much as I trust any exchange, which I've told you what that is. Operate as if they're all insolvent. But if they're able to introduce that, there's so many American traders that have wanted to do it, but didn't want to go through the hoops of, feeling like you were doing it illegally, feel like you were having to go through VPNs or go through other means, use KYC from somebody else to be able to trade, or you make all this money and you can't pull your money off. So many traders will roll into that. They'll be much comfortable with the smaller leverage to be able to know that they're doing it in a regulated way. So, guys, that is all we got for today. What is that last super chat real quick? June 11th or 12th, I said Celsius wouldn't let me close a loan with USD. It was purchased on their app. Super chat. I said, not your keys, not your crypto. ADA got released, but I got greedy with the rewards. 35K ADA lost. Live life for free. Thank you for that super chat. Sorry that happened to you. And what I would tell you guys is this: learn to go with your gut a little bit more. Something we're all learning together. All right, guys. So glad to be back. I'm back every day this week. I love you, BitSquad. I missed you so much. And that's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.